Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As you all know, this channel is all about street bikes, sport bikes, riding on the track, talking to interesting people in the industry, racers, coaches, you name it. And one of the things I really love is kind of that balance of street and track. And for a number of reasons, which we won't go into all of them today, but not the least of which would be if you really want to go as fast as you can and really push the limits of your own skills and the bike, the street is not the place to do that. The track is, and that's why my street bikes are kind of more street oriented, less sport oriented, because the street is the place that I really don't want to push my limits. Now, talking about limits, there's a little bike called the Kawasaki ZX-4RR that some of you may have heard of. Now, it's a little screamer of an inline-four. And the stock ZX-4RR makes around 56 to 58 horsepower at the wheel, depending on the dyno. And with a power curve that really wakes up at around 10,000 RPM. Torque is modest, it's about 26 pound-feet of torque. So you have to keep it spinning high to get the most out of it. Now on the track, that means a lot of shifting and living above 12,000 RPM, but that's exactly where this bike shines. And I'm going to show you a lap and give you some more of my thoughts. Now, I will tell you that once you add the Akrapovič and ECU flash that I had done by my friends Two Wheel Dynoworks here in Seattle, Washington, and pair it with that flash, the exhaust drops the weight, it frees up the mid-range, and that inline-four just sings the way it was designed to be sung. Now, with the flash restrictions listed, the smoothing of the fuel and the rev limits are just way more optimized, and gains are typically between 8 and 10 horsepower. But more importantly, it's the mid-range torque that gets really filled in, and the throttle response really sharpens up. And the engine braking is also tuned, so it just feels more alive on the track. And of course, it's going to feel more alive on the street as well if you do these things. So now I'm looking at mid-60s in horsepower to the wheel, and a chassis that really loves to corner. There are also aftermarket options for the ZX4, and they're already starting to explode from folks like Ridge Motorsports here in the US. And you've got everything from cartridges, rear shocks, from Öhlins to K-Tech. Now, in this bike, I have upgraded the front end suspension. I've replaced the internals with Öhlins internals. You can get full body weight kits for the track. I have put the Armor Bodies kit on this bike that I got from Woodcraft, and I had it custom painted by my friend Ken Dawson Customs in Oregon. I'm here in the US. You can get lighter weight wheels. You can do a whole lot to this bike. Now, on the performance side, beyond the exhaust and ECU, you can also get sprocket kits to sharpen up sort of acceleration, and there's brake upgrades you can get, data logging solutions, and it's starting to become a real favorite platform in kind of the mid-weight super sport class here in the US. I'm seeing more and more riders adopting that this platform, this bike. So it's a really exciting bike in terms of options, and I really enjoyed it on the track. So let's go for a ride. So welcome to my local track. This is the Ridge Motorsports Park here in Washington State, Seattle, and I am riding today on my 2025 Kawasaki ZX-4RR, and I'm riding with tracktime.bike, who are my favorite local track time organization here in Seattle. Great bunch of people letting me ride this slow, zippy little bike in A group. So I'll focus on my lines and try and make sure that I'm not holding people up. Now, important thing to note here is that turn 1 at this track, you do not apex on your in lap. So I'm actually showing lap 2 here. So what you'll notice is that turn 1 comes up fast here. It's a hard braking zone into a sharp left-hander, and the bike feels really stable under braking as I'm trail braking and tipping in left into turn 2 and through the fast right here, turn 3. I'm driving out and the quick shift kept the bike really well in the power band. Turn 4 is downhill here and it's a little tricky. You have to make sure you stay disciplined on the throttle to get a good drive now as you head down towards the Ridge's signature carousel. Turn 6, and this is a long sweeping left, and the bike holds a beautiful line even as I roll on the throttle here. It felt super planted. I was really impressed. And then exiting onto the back section, we hard drive over turn 7 here, pointing towards the water tower on the left and heading into apex 8A and then over into 8B. Now, when you enter onto the back section, you've got to drive hard towards turn 9. It's a fast right kink coming up just about here. And this is one of the fastest parts on the track. And I really like it. But it's heavy braking then after that into turn 10. And as you get through turn 10, turn 11 and 12 are blind uphill corners, and so it felt really light and flickable. It felt really good for threading through here with confidence. But then it's on to turn 13, which is a long, fast straight as you head towards it here. And a lot of a lot of riders actually overcook it, so really important that you get it timed well and your entry point well before you head down turn 13, which is hard braking downhill through 14 and 15, and then into the final corner to set up for the drive down the straight. And on a little bike, getting this drive right is really important. I really love the upgraded exhaust note. It just sings. It felt really nice. I felt really planted, like way more planted than I thought it would be, especially as I head into the chicane. And the chicane is here for Moto America, and it just no problem. I felt really light and nimble, and this is actually an area where I could make up time and keep ahead of some of the bigger bikes. So I hope you enjoyed that. To wrap this video up, what we'll be doing next is I'll be doing a few more mods to it like I talked about in the intro. I won't be making another video on it though until October when I take it to Sonoma Raceway. And that is a great track. The last time I rode it was on the old pavement. Now it's been repaved. And I think it's the sort of track that a small bike like this is going to really, really hum on. So if you enjoy this sort of content and you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing over the next few weeks as I get ready for Sonoma in October, like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.